Hey folks, I'm doing a special show this time. This one's going to be a reveal number 5A for the 1964 D bankroll that follows the 1964 bankroll that we've already done. Sorry about that. I gotta have my voice together. So I'm doing the 1964 D roll that I promised as an addition to the 1964 roll that we did before. And I've got all of my holders out in order right here. And I've got all of the coins out that have already been won from the 1964 roll, in which we found nothing. So, with no further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Hey Hoop, an Emprian label. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Now these have already been purchased. There's nothing to purchase. This is nothing but a showing of the roll as it's being opened, exactly as the other was opened. And we'll see if we can get anything better out of this roll. Okay, here I go, picking it apart. This is a 1964 Denver Mint roll. It doesn't have a particular bank name on it. I'm working on getting the end of it picked apart right now. There we go. It has been rolled, saved this way for the last, 55 years or so. I started it off this way, I'm going to finish it this way. And there are our coins, numbers 1 through 50. Get the wrapper out of the way. Number 1 is going to be over here on my left, and number 50 is going to be over here on my right. And get my scope together, get everything ready to go. And coin number 1 is going to belong to J. Miller, just as the past one, number 1, belonged to J. Miller. So here's coin number 1. It's got a little bit of toning on the outside, which happened to be the reverse in this case. Let's see if we pick up anything nice. Looks like a minor split serif RPM. Actually, a little bit more than a minor split serif RPM. That's actually a pretty nice one. This one could be listed. Let's zoom in a little bit on this and take a better look at it. There we go. I get my fingers straight. Yeah, I can see a little bit of a split at the upper serif, a little split at the lower serif, and a little bit of extra stuff going on at the lower extreme of the mint mark. Let's see what else I can come up with here. See if there's anything else on this coin it's worthy of note. I see nothing there, nothing there, and nothing on the eye. Let me check the reverse and see what came out on the reverse. This appearance, you can see the color a little bit right there, but you can see that there's toning around the edge of the reverse of this coin. It doesn't appear as though there's anything important going on anywhere else on the reverse. All the typical places that I check. Hey Todd. So this is coin number 1 from the 1964 D roll. Now remember, these coins will be numbered exactly the same as the previous ones, and they will be given exactly the same as the previous one. Let's see how I want to do this. There we go. Well, no, this is the way I want to do it. Okay. Coin number 2 will belong to our Grevitt, just as the previous coin number 2 did. Well, let me go ahead and get coin number 2 up on the holder. And what we'd be looking for in a 1964 D roll is primarily repunched mint marks, but there are some nice double dies, especially double die reverses. There's a few nice double die reverses. This is another one that looks like it could be a split serif with a south RPM. Take myself out of studio mode so I can see this a little better. There we go. Now I can see it a little better. I can see that I'm slightly out of focus too. There we go. I can see a split in the upper serif, and I can see a line running across the bottom of the mint mark that does appear to make a south repunchment mark. And looking around on the other parts of the coin, I'm not seeing anything. There are some pretty nice double die reverses listed for the 1964D. This coin and the one previous to it could possibly have come from the same die, because that's kind of what I'm seeing here. See if I can find a specific marker that would help me determine which coins are coming from this particular die. Markers can be difficult sometimes because they show up where you least expect them, and they don't seem to be where you really want them to be. Hello, Reverend. Let's see. I'm not seeing any particular markers other than the RPM itself. Not at present, anyway. Get up underneath my scope, and I'm sure I'll find a little bit more. I'll move on to the next coin. So there's coin number 2. Appears to be a minor repunchment mark. And to coin number 3. And coin number 3 is... see, this one has die scratches running north and south through the date, but it appears to be nothing so far. Still appears to be nothing. No double eyelid. This is another one of those issues that has those really minor double dies in trust. Little tiny bits of doubling on the T's of trust. And I just don't really pay any attention to those, because there's nothing there really to list. Alright. Oh, that wasn't coin number 3. Coin number 3 belonged to Bill Betts. And it had nothing on it that I could see at the time. I'm holding up some packages here because of this particular roll reveal and the one that's coming up next. The one that's coming up next is going to be... oh, sorry, I'm going to put that in there next. One that's coming up next is going to be the 1968 D roll that I've had advertised for probably 6 weeks now. Oh, look at that. Nice little repunchment mark going on right there. Yeah, let me zoom in on that one. See that? If you can get it focused, Chuck, there you go. That works. That's a nifty little repunchment mark. Alright. Well, this is a little different from the other coins, so it looks like we're going to have at least 2 different, possibly 3 different repunchment marks in this roll. What kind of a marker do we have? Appears it could be a die scratch right there running through the Y of Liberty. Not really seeing much else right now as far as die markers are concerned. Okay, so I'm going to get that up really close and check and see if that is running through the Y of Liberty. No, it's not. It's just a mark on the planchet, it appears. Still don't see any real markers here, but I'll figure it out. Now's the time just to hoop and holler. This one is coin number 4. It will belong to J. Miller. And coin number 5 belonged to Bulldog USMC. There we go. Bulldog. It's coin number 5, and let's see what's in coin number 5. Let's see. Got a question. Got an 87p half-dollar back with a 66 proof-like designation, and it's extremely rare. So there's only been a few discovered in the whole series. Do I have a moneymaker? No idea. I don't do half-dollars. Don't know anything about half-dollars, except they're 50 cents worth and they're round. Let's see. Not really seeing anything on this one either. I don't mean to shut you down like that, but I just don't. I'm a Lincoln cent person. This is copper coins. I deal specifically in Lincoln cents. I probably know more about those than a lot of people on the face of the earth, and that's because I specialize in them, meaning that I pretty much ignore everything else. And not seeing anything on this one. So this will be coin number 5, which belonged to Bulldog. And we'll get Bulldog his coin real quick here. Then we'll move on to Robert Adams. Robert Adams gets coin number 6. A few minor spots on these coins as I'm opening the roll and looking through. Don't see anything on this one either. There is a real minor double die obverse on that crosslet of the 4 out toward the rim, but that's just not going to be something that's going to be listable. Not to me anyway. Let's see. Nothing else on the obverse. Looks like we're going to get a few decent coins out of this one, but for the most part, not a whole lot. Now, the 1955 S roll that I went through a few days ago, I posted the results of that last night. Quite astonishing. 20 out of the 50 coins in that roll were die varieties that were already listed. This is coin number 7 for D. Harmon. That's not highly unusual, but it's also not quite normal either. So this is another repinchment mark. You can see the split in the upper serif if I get it turned so that the light actually reveals it. I'll have to look this one up and see if there's anything to this. I'm not really sure that this one's one of the listed ones. It looks to be a little minor. And I see no hub doubling on this side. Imprint label. What you have suggested regarding your 1964s is actually kind of common. It's a rather common occurrence for the lettering near the rim to be either cut off or merging with the rim on the obverse. That's because the master design for the Lincoln cent had basically worn out by this point, and they continued using it through 1968. Then in 1969, they changed to a new engraving that would eliminate this problem. And it did for a number of years. Okay, that was David Harmon's coin. This is coin number 8. Bulldog again. Let's see what will come up here. And not seeing it. Just nothing there. Let's flip and see. I'm showing nothing on the reverse. Well, unfortunately, that's going to be what's up with coin number 8. Nothing I can see. Now, I will go back through these and check them one more time through the microscope. This next coin, number 9, is going to also be Bulldogs. I'll make sure that if there's a repunchment mark, it's either a listed repunchment mark or it is going to be evaluated for listing. If I decide not to list it, then it'd be a minor repunchment mark. Maybe something that John Wexler or someone else has already listed. There are a few nice double die reverses, mainly appear on United, and then I generally use the stem of the N as a pickup point. Now look on around to the initials. This lighting is just a little bit bright, but it'll give you a good idea of what you're looking at anyway. Oops, I didn't mean to grab that. I need to get that out of the way over here. There we go. Coin number 9 is in the books. Coin number 10 belongs to Mr. Harmon. Let's get that up here and take a look at it. I'm getting it done. There's another repunchment mark. This one's got some of that waxy stuff on the obverse. You can see that stuff and it will come off with xylene. So you don't have to worry about it. It's not permanent. So once it comes off, your coin will be nice and red again. It has to do with the wrapping machines. I'm not really sure exactly what causes it. That right there is a spot that won't come off. But you do have a repunchment mark, nonetheless. And this is one of the repunchment marks we've already been looking at, so it's not going to have a double die reverse because typically the obverses and reverses stay together. And as I predicted, no double die reverse, but this one belongs to Mr. Harmon. Congrats, got yourself a repunchment mark out of the deal. I'm doing this because the 1964 plain roll that we did earlier in the week came out with nothing. Not one variety in the entire roll. So I decided, let's do this just because I'm feeling gullible. Todd Carmen gets this one. Let's see what it is. And no repunchment mark that I can see. No hub doubling on the obverse. What about the reverse? Nothing there either. Alright, so it's coin number 11. This one is a nice gem though. This one's got no spotting on it whatsoever. Coin number 12 will belong to Mr. Adams. This is one of those things where you open a roll like this and it's a complete mystery. You have no idea what's going to be inside. You have no idea what order it's going to be in. You have no idea of anything before you get the roll open and start going through it. I can see a very minor split serif right there, but I don't know that I'm going to be able to call this one a listable RPM. Nothing as it appears going on in the obverse of this one. We're getting down to a point where we're probably hitting most of the dies that are going to be in this roll, so it appears that we've got a few minor repunchment marks in this roll, and that's about it. But you always have that opportunity of running into something you never knew existed in the roll. Turns out to be a fantastic double die, and there's only one of them in the whole row. I've seen it before. It happens. This kind of thing isn't highly common, but you never know. Next coin is also Mr. Adams. He has actually 3 coins in a row. There's the next one for Mr. Adams. It's another repunchment mark. You can see the split in the upper serif just with that lighting right there. And I see nothing else of high importance on that side. Let's see what's going on over here. I see nothing doubled. Nothing doubled. That was lucky coin number 13, or maybe it was unlucky. Now for coin number 14, which is another one for Mr. Adams. Coin number 14 tells me it is normal. No repunchment mark. That little tiny piece of doubling on the top of the cross split of the 4, but I don't list those. Not unless they also show doubling in trust, which I do not see. Let's see what the reverse of this one looks like. What I'm generally looking for on the reverse is going to be class 2 hub doubling, which is distorted hub doubling. That's going to be separation lines toward the rim of the coin. That or class 1, which is rotated hub doubling, will show notching in one side of the corners of the coin going all the way around the coin. Those are the more common types of hub doubling generally found on 1964D Lincoln cents. This one's for Bulldog. Let's see if we can come out with anything on here. I need to adjust my focus just a tish. My wife's got me saying that now. Tish. Tish is not a word, hun. I know because Russell won't let me play the word Tish. Unless it's not spelled T-I-S-H. Nothing going on there. It's a luck of the draw, really it is, when you're doing bank wrapped rolls. Trying to find die varieties. This one belongs to Mr. Carmen, Tug Carmen. This will be coin number 16. Oh, got a nice split upper serif on that one. So this one's a nice repunchment mark. It's got some mucky muck going on around the rim there, around Liberty. That stuff will come off with some xylene. Xylene is a paint thinner. It doesn't affect the red on your Lincoln cents if you use it sparingly. You need to get a Q-tip very wet with it, wipe it across maybe 1, maybe 2 times, just to get the loose fleckety-fleck stuff off of the coin. And it won't affect the color of the metal at all if you don't rub it. It evaporates extremely quickly. It is a alcohol-y paint thinner and has a very alcohol-y smell. And you use it to clean dust and other loose grime off of coins. This is for Bulldog right here. Bulldog gets this one, and this one is, it's got die scratches southwest to northeast through the date, so let's remember that. So we'll know that marker for the future. And I'm thinking this is going to be a nothing. It appears as though it's going to be a nothing. Ooh, yuck. Black spot. Black spots do not come off. Or what you do, that won't come up off of there. Got some die scratches running northwest to southeast across the middle of the reverse. And so we know that in this particular roll, if you have those markers, you have nothing, because this coin was nothing. Coin number 18 is going to belong to Mr. Harmon again. I don't really see a whole lot of machine doubling in here. I mean, if you want to call some of the flattening and other stuff that I'm seeing here machine doubling, you'd be welcome to do that, but there's a nice split lower serif right there. That like flattening on the L of Liberty is just a strike issue. It's not really any kind of machine doubling here on the reverse. Yeah, there might be a tad of machine doubling going on, a little bit of sliding with the loose die, but for the most part, this is just the lighting making it look like there's some doubling on here. And if you know your own lighting, then you know how to discount the anomalies and know that they are normal. But, however, if you're like me and don't use this scope very often except for broadcasts, then, this one's for Bulldog, then you don't get used to the light enough to really know what's going on, and you can miss a few things, which is why I always go back through these coins with a microscope, because I do know what I'm doing with my microscope. Not this. This is a camera scope. Look at that. Die scratches running across the top of Liberty, but there's nothing on the obverse of this coin. Now, this stuff right here, where you can see that the upper part of Trust here is flattened out, that's all strike issue. That's not machine doubling. That's all a matter of weaker strike. And a lot of this, like, see on the top of the F of how it kind of flows toward the rim. You don't have a sharp edge up there. That's just die wear. That's what's going on with all of these letters that have the glow beneath them. That glow is picking up flow lines. And it picks up those flow lines, and that glow, see here you can see the shadow that's kind of soft running on the top of the letters. That's just die wear. This is a late die state coin. It has nothing to do with any sort of doubling or any sort of die variety of any kind. Alright, that was Bulldog's coin. This one belongs to Todd Carmen. I need to get through this video, and I'm going to have to exit this video when I'm done because I have another one scheduled starting up. You can go back out to the channel and find the other video and join me there. But I can't do both of these roll reveals together on the same video because you got people who apply to one and don't apply to the other, and they don't want to watch both together. Well, it's a little consolation that there are some decent coins in this. I'm glad that we were able to pull something out of this roll versus what happened on the 1964 plain roll that we went through. Okay, this one's another Todd Carmen. This is coin number 21. I can find the coin here. Let's see. Not seeing anything here. Nothing there. And on the reverse, another late die state coin. All these seem to be a later die state on the reverse. Nada. Just a shiny 1964 D Lincoln cent. These were made during a year where nickels were very highly produced. They were also made during the last year where we had, this one also is Todd Carmen, where we had silver in our larger denomination coins. There's a lot of issue going on with removing the silver from coins. A lot of issue going on with mint marks that year and people saving coins with mint marks. So it appears it could be a pretty nice one. I don't know. Let me take a good quick close-up. It's like the super slow-mo cam, except everything moves a lot faster because I'm a lot closer to it. See if I can get a good vantage point with this. I think upside down was best. Close your eyes for a second. I'll tell you when I'm there. What happened? Here we go. What is that? That's part of the lapel, so I need to come out this way. Hey, looky there. I found me again. Not precisely sure what this is. This could be a repunch mint mark. I'll have to take a quick look at it here. Let me get focused back on the outs. It'll be easier to find something once I get another coin in here. Let me take a look at this my loop real quick and see if, because I'm thinking there's a chance that it could be an RPM I know about. Or not. Could also be machine doubling and absolutely nothing at all. Sorry, Todd. Alrighty, let's get this out of the way. Next coin is number 23, belonging to Robert Adams. Oops. Back up here. You're only allowed to fall off when I tell you you can. Let's see. Oh, nothing here. Nothing. We have Sherman in here with us today. Say hi, Sherman. He's rather unimpressed with this whole deal. Well, maybe he is coming over to snort for you a little while. What's up, buddy? Alright, this next one is coin number 24, belongs to J. Miller. See if we can get something out of this. Ah, looks like nothing. Nothing at all. What are you standing on over there? You're making noise. Standing on one of my baggies. That means I have stuff on my floor. I'm not supposed to have anything on my floor. My boss told me I can't have anything on my floor. We need to have a Sherman cam. Have to figure that out at some point. Coin number 25 is Robert Adams. Nothing up my sleeve. I see nothing going on here. Now see, I know that you're looking at the details upside down, but you're looking at the details upside down because of the direction of lighting in this scope. The way it comes in on the coin, you can see the serifs on the RPM, if there is one, a lot better with it upside down than right side up. Which is why I do that. I'm only looking for doubling. I'm not trying to read the coin. Alright, here we go with coin number 26. Belongs to Bulldog. And nothing there. Once again, with these on the reverse, I'm usually checking the outside edges of the digits for doubling. And that doubling should generally spread toward the rim. Got some spotting on it. I check especially the initials and the outside edge of the N of 1 because it tends to show it a little easier. I also look at the last A in America, and then I look at the F of, and I look for that same type of doubling that I have seen hundreds of times before on Lincoln cents from the 1960s. That was coin number 26. Now coin number 27 belongs to Bill Betts. I'm guessing Bill Betts is not here today. And Bill Betts got a normal coin. Do you remember the one that has the die scratches running southwest to northeast through the date? I'm going to bet you that this one has die scratches running northwest to southeast through the middle part of the reverse of the design. What do you know? Right there. So we've seen this die before. It's normal. Sorry, Mr. Betts. The mint didn't screw up enough for us. Next one belongs to Mr. Gravitt. Mr. Gravitt's got a nice repunchment mark going on there. See the upper serif right there? How it's nicely doubled. And well, we have a repunchment mark. Are we expecting more? Excuse me. I've done that before. I've noticed a repunchment mark on a coin, pull it out, move it over to the side, find out, oh, you don't have this one listed yet, so you need to take pictures of it. So I get it under the scope, get the camera out. This coin number 29 here is going to belong to Bulldog. And I start taking pictures. I flip the coin over to the reverse where I can take reverse marker images. And bam, got a nice double die reverse. And never noticed it because I pulled the coin out at the point that I found an RPM on it. So then you have a coin that has an RPM and a double die. You never noticed the double die. So then I go back to the roll and I get the roll back out and I go back through the entire roll again on the reverses just to make sure that I didn't miss another one of them. Tell you, this one says house, but I believe this one was, I'll have to look in my records. There were two house ones and somebody bought both of them. I'm trying to remember who it was. I'll figure it out. Whoever bought the house coins for the 64 plain roll, this is going to be theirs. Nothing going on there. Alright, let's flip it over and see what happens. Got nothing there either. I believe this is Don Harmon. I think he bought the house spots in this roll. This one will belong to Mr. Gravitt. This is coin number 31. Nothing there. Nothing on the reverse side. There's coin number 31 down. On to coin number 32 is going to belong to Bulldog. Bulldog gets this one. Let me flip it around. There we go. Nothing there. So this one's kind of a low producing roll too. Never can know this stuff before you open it. I see a thing on the bottom of the C that looks kind of like doubling. What that is a reflection from the bevel. So the bevel of the letter actually has a reflection of light. And it comes from having a lamp set up on both sides of the coin. That's why I tell everyone try to use one direction of lighting only when they're looking under a microscope. This coin number 33 will belong to Mr. Carmen. Flip it over so it's easier to get to. Oh, nothing again. Nothing but an uncirculated 1964 D Lincoln cent. Unfortunate. This one's late die state because it has all that glowing going on the outside of the letters. It tells me that there's a lot of flow lines headed to the rim. Coin number 34 belongs to Mr. Gravitt. And this is one of the repunchment marks with the split upper serif. I'm going to have to look that up a little bit later and see what die number it is, if I have it listed at all. Nothing going on the reverse, although it is a little bit cleaner design, meaning it's an earlier die state coin than some of the other ones in the roll. You know what, Sherm? Got nothing for you, brother. So you sitting there grunting at me isn't going to get anywhere. That's right. Coin number 35, Mr. Carmen. Hey, hey, Paula. All right. Yeah, nothing going on there. There's more of that waxy stuff. Looks like as we get later on in the roll, we're getting dies that I don't recognize having seen. So I'm going through this a little quickly. Nothing there. Coin number 35. Coin number 36 belongs to Mr. Adams. This has got a big old spot, big old brown area. But it is one of the nicer repunch mint marks there. See the upper serif? It's one of the nicer RPMs that I found in this roll. Later die state coin. But it is definitely the same die that we've seen a few times before. A lot of times RPMs definitely repeat themselves within a roll. For instance, the 1955S roll I went through the other day had only 3 different repunch mint marks in it, but it had 20 coins that were repunch mint marks. So there were a number of duplicate repunch mint marks in there. Coin number 37 belongs to Mr. Gravitt. Nothing on this one. Nothing, nothing. Todd, yes, I will have some open spots on other reveals. I'm not sure about the 1968D. I've not even prepped for it yet. But I do know I have a 1949D coming up next week or later on in the week. I haven't even priced it yet, so I don't really know. Hey, look at that. This is Bill Betts here. My number 38. One of the nicer repunch mint marks there. And make sure they didn't change the reverse on us. No hub doubling on the reverse. I will be announcing during the auction on Tuesday the rolls for this coming week. The 1968D roll is a last week roll. Actually, it's a last month roll. And it was postponed because of the move to North Carolina. This one belongs to Jay Miller right here. This is coin number 39. Nice repunch mint mark going on there. See that? Pretty. Yay. See how the letters up there are just about to merge with the rim? That's pretty typical for these. It's just the way they were struck. The hub onto the die onto the coin. And you see that these are a little sharper on the outside edge. I mean, they're a little earlier die state, probably a late mid die state coin. That's been the case with all the examples of this particular die in this particular roll. That was coin number 39. Coin number 40 belongs to Mr. Gravitt. Minor split upper serif. Very minor split upper serif. This is probably one of the ones that I just happened to catch just right to see that. Otherwise, I wouldn't have noticed it at all. See what we got on the reverse. Very mushy details. This is a very late die state coin. Little minor RPM. Now the next one is the other house coin that I do believe belonged to Mr. Harmon. I'm not sure though. But this is coin number 41. Whoever got the house coins from the last go through is going to get the house coins from this go through. And it doesn't really matter a whole lot for this one because there's nothing going on here. Okay, flip it over to the other side and see what's going on there. Oh, nothing that I can see. Don't forget, boys and girls, that Tuesday we have an auction. That would be tomorrow. We have an auction at 8 p.m. on this channel. I will not have the items ready until tomorrow. Mr. Adams belongs to this one. Coin number 42. Nothing. Coin number 42 is a dud. Going to have a number of nice items up for auction tomorrow. A lot of Lincoln cents, a couple of maybe some proof set pieces, proof coins, other pretty nice coins. This one's Todd Carmen's, coin number 43. Paula, you are being summoned for a problem. In the chat. I stay out of problems that I'm not invited into. There's nothing on that coin. moving right along. Got about 10 minutes left before I have to start the next broadcast, which means I don't really even have time. Next one belongs to Mr. Gravett. This will be a rather quick exit. As soon as I get done with this, there we go. There's a nice repunchment mark for Mr. Gravett. As soon as I get done with this particular roll, I'm going to have to bust out of this broadcast and start the next one. As I discussed a little bit earlier in this broadcast, I do not want to tie broadcasts together that are different rolls. Hurts my SEO. So unfortunately, if you want to watch the next one with me, in about 10 minutes, you're going to have to flip over to the channel, take a look for the other broadcast, and open it, and wait for me to show up over there. Todd Carmen belongs to coin number 45. And I see nothing. A lot of flattened out letters because of the strike. But no die variety. Oof. Late die state reverse. Got nothing for you, buddy. So sorry. Luck of the draw. Just the way things work on a bank sealed roll. Next one belongs to Mr. Gravett. Nice RPM. Kind of wonder sometimes if his name might be pronounced Gravett. I just assumed it was Gravett. Gravett like Corvette. I see nothing else on this. There's a nice repunch mint mark there. Next one, coin number 47 belongs to Mr. Adams. And coin number 47 is a nice repunch mint mark. Take a look at that. Let me get it angled here. There you go, see? Check that out. Pretty nice. Alright, so it looks like people are getting repunch mint marks out of this. Cool, cool. Oh, the reverse is nothing on this one. Because of the RPM that I already know is on the obverse. I've already checked the reverses on that particular die, and there's nothing paired with it. So, in the brevity of time, I'm not showing it. This one belongs to Bulldog. I will be going through all these again. Hey, look at that. There's another repunchment mark. This one belongs to Mr. Bulldog. So, by my count, we're above 10 RPMs on the roll, which is good because, well, I wanted you guys to get something out of this. The dog's over here making all kinds of noise. He probably needs to go outside. And I'm ignoring him. I'm a horrible father. Mr. Gravett, this is yours. This one's for you. Hey, look, another RPM. I have yet another RPM. Very nice. Ew. We have cancer growing on the reverse here. I'll try to stop that. I have some methods to be able to stop cancerous growth. Yeah, you can see that one from like a half a mile away. Look at that. You can see that spot right there. Ooh, it is an RPM though. So it's worth something as a hole filler. And this last one belongs to Miss Bulldog. Let's see what happens to Mr. Bulldog's coin. This is a roll ender, so it's going to have some toning on it. It has some color on it. And a spot. Wow, that looks like a science experiment going on there. Let's see what we've got on the reverse. And coin counter wheel damage. Alright, we got nothing doubled on that side. And Bulldog gets that one. That's coin number 50 in the roll. And on that note, folks, I'm going to have to make a quick exit because I've only got about 6 minutes to get ready for my other stream. You go back to the main page of my channel and you'll see the other stream. You'll be able to go in there and wait for me, and I'll come back ready and fresh and good to go. I appreciate it, folks. Thanks for stopping by.